Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael. Tonight I will be your host, so welcome to What Not to Do with Your PlayStation 2. So, funny story. My son is about 3 years old and he often sees me playing games, playing on the Xbox, playing on the PC, whatever. So he always comes in and goes,
Daddy, can I play video games?
So I'm thinking, alright, let's try it. Now he's dabbled with the SNES Classic and the PlayStation Classic. We played those and funnily enough he has actually beat me on the Street Fighter. But fighting games are never my thing. So I thought, do you know what, kid? I'm going to start you off right. And so I decided, what better to start him off on than the PS2. It's pretty much my all-time favourite console. It's got some of the best memories I have from gaming. So I was like, okay, let's set up the PS2 for you. Let's see how you get on with this. So I took it downstairs, plugged it into my new TV, and which I'm very surprised had an aerial socket for it, to be honest. And it all boots up, looks good. I'm like, oh, this is bringing back some memories. Go into browser, can look through my save slots on the memory card. So I put in a disc, because that's what you do if you want to play a game. And disc read error. So I was thinking, okay, remembering back, I think I had issues years and years ago where for some reason my PlayStation 2 stopped reading discs laying down. It had to be stood up. Weird, don't know why that was the case. So I was like, okay, stood it up, put the disc back in, disc read error, it's not reading discs. So I was like, oh God. I've had it since it came out. So I've had it over 20 years. So I thought, okay, let's open it up. I'm not going to void any warranty, that's long gone. Let's open it up, let's clean the lens. So I did, I took it apart. Everything was going great, it's so simple to take apart. They don't have funny screws, everything's easy to keep a track of. Took it apart, got some cotton buds and just cleaned the lens. I got the dust off of everything else. And then I put it all back together, it's going amazing. I was just like, excellent. Can't wait to get this started. I can't wait for my son to experience the games that I grew up experiencing and just have a real good time, Putting everything back together, it's all slotting in nicely. Put the case back on, putting in the screws, all the 6 of the screws. I get to that last screw and it's just twisting. I'm like, why is this not going through? And I'm like, pushing, it's not going in. I was like, why is this not going in? What's wrong? So I take the screw out, I look into the screw hole and I was just like, oh, there's something silver blocking the way. Well, what could that be? So I was like, okay. So I take it apart, take all the screws back out, take the case off, and then I see what it is. I was trying to put the screw in and I've gone straight through the ribbon cable which connects the standby and eject buttons to the motherboard. I was not impressed with myself. So I quickly moved that out the way of the screw hole, put it all back together, tried it, it came on, and then it started booting up, and then it just went and went back onto standby, and I was like, no, this can't be happening. My childhood is gone, it's ruined. But there was a saviour. So I had a look, I just went on eBay, I was looking at the ribbon cable. Obviously I checked what sort of ribbon cable I need first, and I found someone was selling a ribbon cable for a fat PS2, £3. £3! Now I'm thinking, of course it's not going to be too expensive, it's over 20 years old. But then when you see the price of retro gaming at the minute and for collectors, it just actually makes me want to vomit. It is disgusting. The prices that people are charging for retro stuff at the minute it's an atrocity. An atrocity against man. So now I ordered this cable and it came. I thought I was getting a birthday card at first. Take this out, making sure that my address is not on there. It's lovely on a crisp box, but there it is. Lovely new ribbon cable. And I'm gonna fix it, I hope. And you're gonna come along for the ride with me. So let's go over here. Now I'm hoping that you can see everything properly here. I'm trying to open this while looking through the camera. Let's turn this around this way. Try and get out all of these little feet things here because they hide the screws. Just pop these over here to be safe. And then you've got screws under these small plastic squares here. These aren't actually too hard to get out. They're pretty simple, to be honest. You don't even need a prying tool. You can just use your nails and ruin them if they're painted like mine. Okay, here we go. Now let's get through these 8 screws. Now you notice I have separated these screws when I suppose I didn't really need to. The long ones are on the 4 on this side and the short ones are the 4 on that side. Just if you happen to be following along with this, to be taking apart your own, which I really don't recommend considering, you know, fucked up the first time. So why would you follow me on that? I'm going to turn it back this way because it's easier to put it on the front here and then lift off. There we go. And here it is. That's the ribbon cable that I broke. Now, I don't know if you can see. Now, sometimes it can be a bit finicky to pull out, but I've lifted that out. There we are. And I don't know if you can see it here, but right there, where this cutout is here, that's exactly where I put the screw through. So, here we are. Let's just pull that out from there. Easy, so blue side facing buttons. Excellent. I think it will be easier to get to it if I take some more things apart. Ideally, I need to take the base off really. So let's take out the power button. It just slides out there like that. Well then, you can see that I've just dropped the screw into the PlayStation. That's not good. However, that's why it's good to have magnetic screwdrivers. I do also wish that I had a desk that was slightly higher because my back is killing me. Let's pull out this for the controllers. So you've got to be careful of this ribbon cable here. So I'm just going to leave that to the side like that. In fact, nope. I am going to take this off. So to take this off, there's a little tab here that you just lift up. The ribbon cable just slides out like that. I'll pop that to one side. Now I should be able to lift this out of, let's take the expansion bay thing, lift this out of the bottom case. I found it was easier, just be careful with this fan, to do the ribbon cable from this side. Looking under here, let's pull that out. So the blue side was facing this. All right, let's try out this new ribbon cable. I really don't want to break it again. I also really would like to fix it, just to kind of prove to myself that I'm capable of doing it. You know, I've never really been one for taking things apart, mainly out of fear. But you know, it's good to try things. It's good to learn things. I'm gonna have to take this expansion bay off. So it's gonna be annoying having to take this off. However, it will all be worth it in the end if I can get the PlayStation working again. I really want my boy to experience some good old games, you know? Over here, and this can come off now. Aha! There we go, it's in. It's in! It's in! God, right, now I can put this back together. Also, tell me in the comments, because I'd really love to know, what was your first game on the PS2? And what was your favourite game on the PS2 as well? I really don't actually know what my first game on the PS2 was. I could easily tell you my favourite game. My favourite game on the PS2 is Final Fantasy X. That's just no contest. I mean, the first disc I put in my PS2 wasn't even a game. The first disc I put in my PS2 was the movie Deep Blue Sea, which is a pretty wacky game, a pretty wacky film. It's got Samuel L. Jackson in it, and very gently, you've got to make sure it lines up properly. Let's put this back on. That so, yes, okay, so it comes back on itself here. Come on, back in under there, and then that pushes down like so. I mean, to be honest, when I first opened this, considering it, like I'd never opened it over the whole, say, 20 odd years I've had it, it was surprisingly clean, I have to say. let's get this cable plugged in to power and eject. There we go, that slides in nicely. It's in and I haven't torn it. Excellent. Okay, so now if I pop this back on and just make sure that the ribbon cable isn't over any of the screw holes, that would be perfect. Yes, none of the holes are covered. Fantastic. Why is it the last one that you always have trouble with? Jesus. And there she is. Absolute beauty. This is what perfection looks like, by the way. This is second to me, of course. Let's see if she works. Okay, I didn't really want to record down here because it's too dark, but this is the main TV that I was talking about that I tried to hook it up to for my son, which is a newer TV. Like I said, I'm surprised it has an aerial. It's all plugged in again. Let's turn it on. Obviously we know that the power works now, so hooray, I've done the goal that I set out to achieve for this video, which was fixing the ribbon cable and getting it to actually turn on, which is great, that worked. Now, the moment of truth. Please work. Oh my god, it's working. Don't you just love that noise? The game I was going to try and play is Lord of the Rings: The Third Age, because I've heard it's basically Final Fantasy X for people who aren't weebs. So, and I love Final Fantasy X. So let's see if it plays the disc laying down. If it does, then I was successful in cleaning the lens. I don't know why, but I've always had the habit of going into browser first. I got it working! The lens is just a bit dusty. Oh my god. Oh, you have no idea how happy I am right now. Gorgeous! I am so incredibly happy right now. I'm amazed that I was able to get the PlayStation working again, which is great because it now means that I can go back and play the old games that I own that I never did play. And I can show my son all these great games as well and get him started in the right place. What this has shown me is that I am capable of taking apart things and fixing them. I'm not completely useless. But it also reinforces my want to actually mod my PS2, install a hard drive so I can actually copy the games that I own and just run them from a hard drive. I can put more games onto it and just perhaps get to some games that I never did play before. I will of course document that journey of modding the PS2, so if that is something that you are interested in, then please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss out on those. If you enjoyed this video, then you might also enjoy my video talking about features that you might not have known about on the Xbox Series X, and you can see that right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you over there. Bye bye.